just got through saying how I'm not sick and how miserable fucking weather, and I walked over because he wouldn't go, not because I wanted to walk him. I walked him for 45 to 50 minutes this morning before feeding him. And I was like, he's gonna go poo-poo no matter what. We walked around the block twice instead of once. But all I wanted to do was come home. It was fucking freezing out. Probably 40 degrees. Can't believe it's even May. Seriously. I know this doesn't make a line going through. It shouldn't. It's getting so fucking crapshoot anyway. So I went back to bed. I slept last night 12:15 to 5:15. Was up on my computer doing shit, taking Omar for almost an hour walk. Went back to bed. And when I went back to bed 10:30, and I had nightmares. And now, due to the nature of those nightmares, I am pretty much I'm going to be miserable all day long, because I woke up with self-hatred. And I'm going to tell you about my intense dreams. First one was pretty interesting. I was looking out a bottom stair window. I don't know what house I was in or what. I don't know. You know how that goes with dreams or nightmares. And I'm watching these cute animals outside. And they're cute. And this dream probably came because I was telling you about the groundhog and the bunny rabbit. That pretty much the bunny rabbit I've seen a few times in the same house. It's right out front there, and we stay on the sidewalk and we watch it. Of course, he pulls and wants to go after it. I don't let him, of course. And one time we saw the brown hog near the woods. So I'm watching these animals, little ones, and suddenly they shapeshift. I'm like, I can't believe my eyes. I'm like, what the heck? And they turn into different animals, not into people, just into different animals. They shapeshifted from one animal to another, into a different kind of animal. Alright, so these are all brief little things. Okay, the next scene, I'm in the living room, some kind of living room, explaining to my grandmother on my father's side, the one who stopped talking to me, 20 some odd years ago, give or take a couple of years. If I want to be real exact, 22 years ago, maybe 21, something like that. I'll just say 20. Round it to 20, up or down. Because I was foolish to let her know, not that I was going to marry him, and not even that we were together anymore, that we were still friends, that I had dated an African American guy in college. Remember, this grandmother, I'd always been her princess. I was an adult now, and as I'm prone to do, I think I can trust people. I think that they can deal with things that I say, and then I find out otherwise, okay? She actually had such a shit fit, she called my father and was ranting and raving, Laurie's gonna marry him. No, I never said that. I just, but whatever. My father raised me to be, he was prejudiced, but the interesting thing about him being prejudiced was he was prejudiced, yet he accepted the African American kid because my father was a Flander, as I said, and he cheated on my mom with this woman he eventually married, and he cheated on her, but she was also cheating on him, and he thought this was his son, and it turned out as the sweet little kid grew older, he could not possibly be my father's son. Okay, he was clearly African. He clearly had African American. When he was a baby and he could be dark, well, she was a little dark, so they knew, but no. I mean, they knew that it was a possibility, but no. As he grew older, you knew damn well she had cheated on him, you know. Good for the goose, you know, you think about it. He's a cheater, he gets cheated on, and I'm sure he was cheating, as far as I know, he was cheating on her as well. That's why he introduced me to my so-called siblings when I was an adult, you know. As far as I'm concerned, I'm an only child. Okay, sorry. Anyway, I'm sitting there talking to her, trying to get her to believe me about the shape-shifting animals. She didn't believe me. Neither of these two little snippet dreams were anything that were going to make me have a bad day and wake up with, you know, even more self-loathing or self-hatred as usual, you know. But the last one will definitely do it for me. I won't be doing any power walking to escape into my music because it's fucking freezing outside and miserable and not even sunny or anything. It's just third dream or nightmare, as the case may be. Remember, I don't know all the little details of why I was where I was. It doesn't really matter. I'd returned home from something. I'd been gone. Oh, my cereal was gone. Okay? There was nothing for me to eat. And I was enraged, furious that my cereal was gone. They'd eaten the whole thing, so I started yelling at my mother, who couldn't handle it. But I wanted to know why. Just why? Why'd you do it? Why the fuck did you eat all my cereal? And then probably, I know I was angry. It can flash back to when I was a kid. It had something to do with whoever she was with. Believe me, whoever she was with, whatever man she was with or whatnot, they could have driven to the fucking store and bought cereal. You know what I mean? But no, they eat my whole fucking box of cereal. I'm furious. I'm yelling at my mom, and she can't handle it. And I watch her starting to break down a little bit, and then I wake up. Oh, before I woke up, I'm enraged, and I'm under my breath. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. Now, obviously, if we're going to look deep into this, it has far more to do than the cereal. You know what I mean? And think about what I've told you. He made her go wacko. He flaunted Muffy, his little fucking slut girlfriend, in front of her. Remember, my mother was not strong, which means who was smart as fucking hell, okay, had to be in that fucking blue house where he brought his girlfriend there. He brought her there. Flaunted her in front of my poor mother who was sick. He was taunting my mother. They both were. I told you about this. I ran away. I went out my window. It was on the first floor. My bedroom was on the first floor. And I ran away. Because I'd already watched my mom go crazy in front of my eyes. She'd already been acting crazy since then. Now Irv brings his fucking slut to our house, taunts my mother. And at some point, I actually had to even live with Irv while my mom was locked up in the mental hospital for a couple of weeks. I had to live with him. I mean, it was just, obviously I can't remember everything, okay, but I remember that. I remember him being there with that fucking cunt, and my poor sick mother, they were both making fun of her. I wasn't gonna deal with that shit. You know? I was not gonna deal with this man flaunting his fucking girlfriend in front of my poor mother. And taunting my mother, making fun of her, and I took off. I took the fuck off. I ran away. Of course, I had nowhere to go. And I forget how I wound up back home. I ran away. Okay? Okay, so remember, she went crazy in front of my eyes when I was almost 11. But it wasn't until I was 12 that we lost the blue house because Irv's drinking. They didn't pay for it. He didn't pay for what, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know. He had the girlfriend. See, this is where it gets hazy. Because remember, I stopped writing in any kind of journal or anything. I kept journals even when I was a little girl. Just diaries, whatever you want to call them. I stopped. Once my mom got sick, I completely stopped. I didn't track it, so I'm going by memory. I know that we lost the blue house, and me, and my mom. And I guess Irv, I don't know. I wish I knew the timeline, but I don't. And I never will, because who's going to remember? My mom sure as fuck doesn't remember. I'm the only one that remembers all this shit. She didn't remember that she first got sick when I was 10, and when she's doing that wrongful death thing, I found the deposition and whatever, and I got upset with her when I was living with her last year because I found it, and I thought she'd done it on purpose, or Marion had forced her, and you're not going to tell me my life didn't happen the way that it did. And she said she first got sick when I was 16. No, she had the dates wrong, but she first got sick when I was 10, almost 11. Okay, I was just a little girl. Big difference between 10 and 16. You're almost an adult when you're 16. I was a little girl. Anyway, we had to move into the shithole, Marion's alcoholic father's shithole. We had nowhere to go. And we moved in with all the animals. Mandy, Shane, Trisket. Oh no, we got Trisket later. Mandy, Shane, the hamsters and gerbils and guinea pigs and whatnot, I don't know. The mice. Whatever I had, they all moved in with us. Whatever little animals I had at the time. Then we had Mandy and Shane, of course. I don't think we had Peachy the parakeet. I think she died. But I don't know. I don't know. Remember, I didn't keep journals then, but I remembered enough that I wrote that college essay that you can go to my website and read if you want to. It's right there, plain sight, it'll tell you. Want to know more about me? Go read the fucking website I wrote in college, because I wrote it from memory. I didn't write it because I had any notes from when I was a kid. So flash forward. My mom and I were living there. Irv is gone. Irv had been gone. You know, he had been gone. I was 12. I came home one day from visiting a friend or whatnot, whatever it was. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. All that matters is that I came home to giggling, to laughing. I looked in the fucking window, and there was my mom and Irv making out. Remember, my mom had still been sick off and on all along, whatnot, but to see him there after he, in my eyes, had caused my mother to go wacko, and that I did later write in a journal, because I have it, that I wrote when I was, I guess, 12, I don't know, 11, 12. was furious. I was fucking furious. She had taken him back after everything he had done, after his girlfriend, after I had to live with her, I had to have her there, and my mom was sick, and they were taunting her and making fun of her in front of me, and then she, the bitch, the cunt, Muffy, thinks she's toughy. My mom never came up with that. Muffy thinks she's toughy, but she really is a scruffy. Yeah, I'm sure she made it far in life, too. She was a lowlife. Anyway. Whatever. She's toughy, but she really is a scruff. I was a little older now, and this time I had my puppy Trisket that I had begged my mom for us to keep. It was a puppy that my mom's friend's daughter had found. They had found them, and my mom's friend and daughter, they were the ones we used to run away to there. They lived near, I guess, because in the blue house we used to run through the woods. Oh no, probably we ran through the woods to find a phone or something, and then we called him to come get us and stay when he would warn us that he was going to come home, and we knew he was shit-faced. We'd run away. Sometimes we didn't need to warn us. But anyway, you can imagine how I felt. I was already furious. We'd lost the beautiful blue house. We were living in Grampy's pig pen of a fucking shithole, and I talk all about that in my essay. If you want to know, go read it. Even if you're offended by my extremely sexy pictures, you don't have to look at the sexy pictures. They're in a thing that you actually have to click on, okay? They're from Alicia's World. There's like 50 of them, but you don't have to look at them. You don't have to. If you're not interested in hearing me sing my original song, you don't have to listen to me hear me sing my original songs. If you don't want to click on any of my poems, you don't have to hear me recite any of my original poems that span my entire life, practically since I was 8 or 9, okay? I'm sorry, it doesn't have those ones, but I've been writing poetry since I was like 8 or 9. It's just the website doesn't have the old poems. I still have them in my storage unit in LA. If you're only interested in the essay, go and find the essay. Donald made the website. It says Laura's College Essay, something like that. You don't have to look at everything. You can just, if you want, you can find out firsthand what it was like for me to grow up with a schizophrenic mother, okay? To grow up, for a brief period of time until I lost her. Until I lost her to her insanity. But, it wasn't a brief period of time. It doesn't talk about my whole life. It just talks about from her getting sick and then until I lost her, which was only a few years' time. So I ran away, and this was night. I ran away with Trisket. I remember, I am not going to deal with this shit. Remember, I was a smart, fucking, deep, aware little girl. Some people would call me a prodigy. People now don't like her. She calls herself a prodigy. Yeah, I was writing songs and poems at 8 or 9 that there were adults that couldn't write to save their lives right now. Okay, yeah, I was a fucking prodigy. Unrecognized. Okay. But anyway, I was a deep, smart, aware little girl going through hell. I was not going to sit there and play nice with this bastard. I took off. I ran away with Trisket. But where was I going to go? I ran away. I guess I knew my grandmother's number or something. I don't know. I ran away. I wound up calling my grandmother, the one who I was her little princess until I was 23. But and I wound up, Trisket and I wound up staying over that night, her house, but of course we can't live there, so we had to go back to my mom, my sick mother, and Irv, who left again, but was there briefly. And at one point, I guess he hit me, because my room was a mess, and I have that diary where it says he has some nerve. Him belt me. He's not even supposed to be back here. Him belt me. He did this, and he made us lose our blue house, and he caused my mother to go wacko. And so I still have that diary, but it's not a full diary. It just has some things in it. including some things about sex and whatnot that you would expect a little girl to be writing, but you're not dealing with a normal little girl now, are you? No. You weren't dealing with a normal little girl who had a normal life. I know I hadn't had sex at that time. Well, there are 10, 11, and 12-year-olds that do, but I told you I had fooled around with my best friend, female, and I had fooled around with my stepbrother, and I had fooled around with family members, and my best friend was even supposed to arrange when I was 11, I guess, for me to have, I think she made it all up, though. She pretended there was this boy that liked me, and at this point now I believe she made it all up, and she was supposed to arrange for me to have sex with him. It just didn't happen. But now I was 12, remember? And 12 is 7th grade, and 12 is when you do see the kids holding hands and making out, and some of them are even having sex. And I was a total outsider, and I was miserable, and my mom was sick off and on, and yada, 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 and, you know, so I was talking about wanting to have sex. And that video is actually out on ALICIACREATURE. If it's none of my ALICIACREATURE videos are private. That's why I was able to get them all and save them. And now they're safe forever. After Hacker Enemy wanted them to be destroyed forever, I got them off from ALICIACREATURE. I'm sorry, that was private ALICIACREATURE, off from ALICIACREATURE. And that video is titled something like Alicia Reads from the Diary, where she wrote when she was like 12 or 13. And I read it verbatim, and it's gritty and it's real, and you know, because it's from a kid's perspective. That's why the grammar wasn't, you know, he had some nerve, him belt me, you know. There's another video out on ALICIACREATURE where I talk about, you know, it's titled something like Boys. When I was in grade, I don't know, something like boys used to tease and beat me up, the older, whatever. I don't know. There's like 200 videos or so out on ALICIACREATURE, and only 20 or 30 or something out on ALICIACREATURE. So those are my, you know, you want to know how it all began, you go to those videos. They're the ones that are how it all began. These 1,000+ videos I'm done with Life 1 are not how it all began. How it all began is ALICIACREATURE and ALICIACREATURE. And you can also see me when I'm a lot heavier, because the videos I created when I did ALICIACREATURE and ALICIACREATURE when I was a lot heavier than I am now. Just a different, you know, different reality. Back when I was living with Donald and Hope and miserable, and turning to the internet just for something to hold on to, something to connect with a little bit, at least a little bit. It's the same reason I do it now, but now I'm not, you know, as bad off as I was then. Still sad and lonely and isolated, all that crap, but still not even nearly as bad off as